Hey, you guys, Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So, I got this little series going, which actually wasn't planned. Somehow these topics just came up in my consciousness and they end up being recorded together. So, it's kind of interesting. So, the first one was about witch wound, about what exactly is that and how does that affect our lives. Now I just recorded, and witch wounds, yeah, they'll all be published by the time you see this. Witch wound. Then I did shadow work, which was really good information, and it kind of is very similar to witch wound information. And now we're going to be talking about Hooponopono. So the Hooponopono prayer, which I just love that word, Hooponopono. We're going to be talking about that today, okay? And which is kind of a really nice, not that I won't talk, we're not going to be talking about other topics like witch wound and shadow anymore, but it kind of leads right. I mean, it's kind of a nice little ending of what you can do in a very simple way to help clear your witch wounds, clear your shadows, which lead team has already told us in those videos. We're never going to get rid of them completely. It's not in the 3D. It's not a part of it is a required part of the 3D experience. So you're not trying to get rid of those things completely. You're just working on maybe toning them down. So they're not so hot in your life, the heat of them. So that you can move forward and so that it doesn't prevent you from experiencing joy, or, it doesn't make your body dis-ease. You don't have dis-ease in your body because of your shadows or whatever. So that's why those are ways that it can be really helpful to know what your witch wounds are or your shadows. So, okay, so let's talk about Hooponopono. So I've got a little description. We'll ask the lead team a whole bunch of your questions that you had. I did a post out. You guys asked questions, and we're going to respond to those. Okay? So the Hooponopono is an ancient Hawaiian practice of reconciliation and forgiveness that centers on the principle of taking 100% responsibility for your own reality. All right? Or originating as a traditional method for restoring harmony within families and communities. It has evolved into a powerful personal tool for spiritual and physical healing. The practice is built around the repetition of 4 simple yet transformative phrases. This is the Hooponopono prayer. So easy. You could write this down. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. That's it. Okay. By reciting these words, the aim is to clear subconscious data and karmic patterns that manifest as conflict or illness in the external world. I'm going to read that again. So by saying those 4 phrases, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. By reciting these words, the aim is to clear subconscious data, so data you're not even aware of, and karmic patterns that manifest as conflict or illness in the external world. So, example. Very clear example of what's going on in the world today. If we all, and in fact, I started, as you know, if you've been listening to the last couple of videos, I started suggesting that we all send love, like 5 seconds of love every day. If we all just collectively did that, like purposefully just doing 5 seconds, 10 seconds, a minute or whatever, sending love, and especially to people that you have a harder time with, because then the love comes back to you and also goes to them and helps to raise their vibration, right? So this actually is another thing we could all do together. If we just said, so think about it. What's going on in the world today? It seems things are really ratcheting up, right? Really ratcheting up. So rather than looking at the world and saying those everybody's a bunch of a-holes and I have nothing to do with it, you take 100% responsibility for the reality you're seeing right now. Okay, that's the concept. And you would say, I am sorry for whatever's going on in the world right now. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. That's all you need to do. And in fact, I just got like major chills just because that alone says, hey, I'm claiming that I am not faultless in this situation. None of us are, you guys. And we spend a lot of time laughing and like in disbelief of what's going on. But none of us collectively, we are all responsible for it. So why don't we do the Hooponopono prayer also? We can do 5 seconds of love and do the Hooponopono prayer. Really do the Hooponopono prayer, Hooponopono, for those you just sent the love out to. And you might send love to people you love too, but there may be some unresolved things between you as well, and you don't even know what those are. You could do the Hooponopono prayer with your shadows, because the shadows sometimes are just subconscious because you don't have memory of some things that might have happened. And so, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Whatever I've done to contribute to those shadows, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Now, the one thing I will recommend is don't just jump into the Hooponopono prayer and do it like for a million different things, or, okay, I'm exaggerating, 20 different things in one time, because there is a vibrational shift in this, and you will probably most likely feel some discomfort. It's really no different than like detoxing, or like when I say, if you do a clearing, we've got a playlist with clearings on it. And we do clearings once a week in the Spirit Circle during the reset every Monday. You don't want to do, I always say, don't do more than one clearing a day, because your body does have to adjust. If you want, you can, but you don't, the idea is that you wouldn't even really energetically know the clearing took place. You just trust that it's working on your behalf, right? So, but the more you do, the more you might feel it. And so we don't need to feel the discomfort. So I wouldn't do like 20 Ho'oponopono prayers a day. Just do one a day, So let's start doing that, you guys, too. Let's start saying this prayer for the world each day, or for whatever part we've played in the, there's a lot of good things still going on in the world. We're focusing too much on the negative stuff, and that is contributing to the negative. So, let's ask for forgiveness for the things that we have contributed. Okay, so by reciting these words, okay, I read that. Ultimately, it serves as a bridge between individual consciousness and source. Okay, that's interesting. It's a bridge. The prayer is a bridge between individual consciousness and our source, okay? Suggesting that by healing ourselves, we heal the entire world. If we all took 100% responsibility for everything that's happening, whether you consciously know it or not, then maybe the rest of the world will start taking responsibility. If our governments, not just the US government, but all of them, if we stop blaming them and take responsibility for how it's set up right now, how we've supported it over the generations and generations, parts of it, if we can start doing that, maybe they'll start taking 100% responsibility too. But if we keep blaming, and disgruntled, they're just going to stay that way. It's that energy. It's what you're putting out there. All right. Okay, lead team, let's do the little prayer first. I've chatted with them a couple times today. So I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, the lead team collective, our community, so it is all of the highest and purest light. Amen. Hey, lead team. How's it going today? They picked up the energy when I asked that. That's cool. All right. Well, thanks as always for being here. We really, really appreciate all of your support. So we have questions about the Hooponopono prayer. And I'm assuming, as always, you are open to answering them for us. Yes. Okay. All right. Question number 1. Is the practice of this prayer actually a way to take responsibility for everything we see in the world? Okay. So yes. So does it actually work? Yes. Okay. I wondered. I've never asked on this. So it actually is effective by each of us taking responsibility. So the next time you witness something that's uncomfortable, say the prayer. The next time you're standing, just whatever, anytime you see something, next time you start to get triggered, say the prayer, like, okay, what part of this am I responsible? The next time somebody does something to you, say the prayer and say, well, what part of this am I responsible for? Because is that true? Yes. Is that because we obviously were putting something out into the universe that brought something back to us? Yes. And that's what we're taking responsibility for. We're not going to take responsibility for that action, but we're taking responsibility for the energy that sent that action to us. Is that correct? Okay. I just got that. In a really big way. Okay. Okay. Did you get that? I mean, you probably had it way before me, but okay. It's just so good to be reminded too. Is it possible to heal global injustices like hatred by working only on ourselves? Yes. And is it helpful when we take responsibility for whatever role energetically, let's just say energetically, that we played in those global injustices? Yes. Because you all know we've slipped. You all know. I mean, I grew up saying the R word as if that was like a cool thing, So, and I still, every once in a while, if I get like really sassy, I'll still use it just because I'm like, you're not doing it. Not publicly, obviously, but you know what I mean? That energy behind that is not very nice. Yes. Okay. So I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you. Okay. I'm going to say that for now on. Like because I don't edit these, so I was actually thinking about the forecast that I recorded yesterday. And I was like, I don't know. Like I was really chatty, just like I've been today. And I was just really chatty and I was talking about like things that I was learning, but some of it could be really conspiracy stuff. I don't know, whatever it is. But now I feel like I'll just say the prayer, like if I affected people, I don't know. I'll have to read the comments to see, but I can do that for now. And I'll be in the middle of one of these and I'll be like, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Because you just, we're just all doing our best, aren't we? Okay. Is Hooponopono primarily a tool for reducing individual stress? No. So the word primarily is probably what they're hung up on there. Not that they're hung up, but what they're reacting to. So can the Hooponopono prayer reduce individual stress? That's probably yes. Okay. Is Hooponopono a tool for reducing individual anxiety? Yes. And again, the word primarily was there, so they probably would have said no to that. So yes, you can use it to reduce anxiety because, okay, is that because when we say it, whether we realize it or not, we're releasing things by taking 100% responsibility and it raises our vibration? Yes. And it's harder to feel stress and anxiety when your vibration has been raised, correct? Yes. Okay. Is it a mistake to apologize for a situation that was not technically your fault? No. And this is why this prayer teaches us. This is why it's really hitting home for me. Because you don't know what you've contributed, even energetically. So somebody comes and hits your car. You get in a car accident. That may not have been their fault at all. The energy created that situation. Now, it could have been part of your birth plan too. It could have been, like this is an experience that needed to happen for whatever reason, but that's where we take responsibility. It's like, see, we're so used to just blaming everybody else instead of, now my husband and I had this conversation recently because in January we had 4 really weird things happen to us that don't happen like that. I'm like, what is, so we literally had an energetic conversation about it because of what I'm learning. And it wasn't about manifesting. I'm not using that. It just doesn't work for me, manifesting, but vibration does. And we talked about like, what are the things that we vibrationally were sending out maybe over the last 6 months that brought those things to us? Now, because it might not have been something like right away in December. It could have been, it was building, right? But so what I was doing is taking ownership for those things, even though they weren't things we created directly. So, so I just find that a very helpful way to look at things. So I didn't realize what I was doing is basically saying the prayer. So what I should do is the Hooponopono prayer with the topic we were talking about yesterday, just to help clear it, right? Because we don't really know. I mean, I know some things, like I was able to pinpoint a few things, but I was like, well, wow, that energy came back like smack in the head, if that's the case. Those came back very, like, more than I would think that we needed. So, okay. So not a mistake to apologize, not a mistake to apologize, because again, whatever you send out comes back to you. It's taking responsibility. And I know this is going to be real. Let's not even go to, because I can't get my head wrapped around like really awful things that happen to people. Let's not, like especially to a child, or, I mean, things that are completely out of your control. Let's not try to go there today. It kind of muddles the water. And it maybe once we get this concept down, maybe you could dig deeper into that. I probably can't do that publicly. I just don't know enough about it to be able to do that, to be sensitive about things that are just awful that can happen to somebody. Okay. So, but we don't want to take away from, because I know people will be like, well, if this happens to someone, are they 100% responsible for it? Right. I don't want to go there with some of the, because it's just, I don't want to take away from, let's just keep it like, let's try to understand it on a more not so traumatic level. Okay. Because I really don't know how to answer that at this point. I'm not quite there yet in my understanding. So let's see. Does the term Hooponopono literally translate to make right? To make right. Oh, make it right. Make it right. Okay, very cool. Does the prayer work mainly because of the practitioner's belief in its power? No. So it is a legit, well, okay, if we say the prayer, but we don't legit think that we are 100% responsible, does it work? No. Or if we don't if we say the prayer, but we don't believe that that there's a possibility we played a role, even vibrationally, would the prayer work? No. So you really do have to have some understanding of it, which is why we're diving deeper into it today. Because now I really am understanding it better. Where I don't understand it is when it comes to that more traumatic stuff, which is why I don't want to go there today. Okay. So let's see. Does the, already read that one. Does the prayer work mainly because, okay, I already read that one, in the vibration of the specific words? Is the vibration of the specific words more powerful than the person's belief? No. No. So it's really understanding the concept of why you're saying this. Yes. Okay. That's helpful. So it's really, if you don't understand this, you could say it, but if you're like, well, it's just like me sending love to Trump, but not really believing in it. Is that really working then? You know what I mean? Until I really firmly believe, until my ego doesn't get in the way of that, it's probably not working that well. So I just got that too. So keep doing it, because maybe over time your subconscious moves to your conscious, or you just get a deeper understanding because you're sending more love to yourself with that. I'm not sure. Okay, well, is that the same with sending love out, like my example? Yes. Okay. Because it's really not about what you think or say, it's about your vibration. That's like people who will be like, I'm not angry, but then they've got this, it's like, oh, you're not, you're not angry, as they scowl at you, or growl at you. Okay, so it would be, is that kind of an example of how the prayer? Yes. All right. Is it necessary to say the 4 phrases in a specific order? No. So if I say, I love you, thank you, does that change the nature of the prayer? No. Is the part that's more important the please forgive me? I'm sorry, please forgive me? Because that's the responsibility part. Yes. And then I'm assuming maybe the thank you, I love you is just sending that love. Obviously, I love you. Yes. So that's the vibrational part. Okay. So you're like the first part. So the first part of it is accepting the responsibility. The second part is raising the vibration around it. Oh, okay. I get it. That makes sense. So they said yes. Can this practice be used to effectively regulate the physical nervous system? Yes, and I think again, it's just vibrational. It has to do with that. You're basically sending out love. It's just a different way of doing it. Can saying I'm sorry heal a situation even if the other person was the one being rude? Yes. Yes. Because it's like, really, if somebody's rude or angry, it's coming from fear, right? Because there's 2 emotions, love and fear. So what is it that triggered them? It could be a million things that led up to that moment, that they're so used to being treated a certain way, right? So if you take responsibility for like whatever energy was created around them, just from a collective perspective, you can just separate the personal from the collective. Like, what did you contribute? You might have contributed in previous lifetimes that you don't know. So you could even think of it that way, And so, absolutely. Doesn't I'm sorry just diffuse so much? It just, I'm serious. If Trump actually came out and been like, you guys, and like we actually believed him, I'm really sorry. Like, I have been unbelievably off the rails. Whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, that would make a big difference. And I'm going to change. Like, this is what I'm going to do. Like, he could literally turn his stuff around. But he has learned to use scare tactics because that's how power plays are. So, but, if we could just have one leader who then, if we could have leaders in the world, and maybe that's where we got to vibrationally send out. If we could have leaders in the world that know that nobody's perfect, that no structure, structures need time to flesh themselves out, whatever, but we're going to do the best we can for everybody involved. It's not that complicated. It's just not. But it has to do with so much money and power, the money behind it, Okay. Can this prayer be used to clear the energetic space of a physical home? Wow, yes. Yes. And again, it's really about raising the vibration. You're using love, taking responsibility. Is it appropriate to use Hooponopono at a funeral for someone who has passed? Why not? That's awesome. That's awesome. I bet it's appropriate to use in every situation. Yes. Should the prayer be reserved exclusively for the living? No. No. Okay. So you could say that for those who have passed. I remember one time we were about a year ago, I was talking about Hooponopono. I never did this. We never asked questions during that video. And I remember somebody leaving a comment that they were estranged from their daughter for like a year or something. And they started saying the Hooponopono prayer toward, sending that to her. This mother did. And within 3 months of saying that prayer daily, the daughter reached out to her. So that's cool. That's really cool. Okay, a validation story before we have a few more questions. Dr. Hew Len worked in a high security ward for the criminally insane at the Hawaii State Hospital from 1983 to 87. I graduated from high school in 87. He reportedly healed an entire ward of patients without ever meeting them or conducting traditional therapy sessions. Oh my God. If this is true, that is how much power we have. That is how much power we have. Instead of seeing patients, he sat in his office and reviewed their files, practicing Hooponopono on his own internal responses to their files. Over time, patients who had been shackled were freed, medications were reduced, and the ward eventually closed because the patients were rehabilitated. Oh my God. Wow. Okay, let's ask those questions. So lead team, did Dr. Len really heal an entire ward of patients? Are you kidding me? Without ever meeting them? Yes. You guys, come on. Okay, we got to do this. So you might have to look into that a little bit, like maybe put into AI, like how can I use Hooponopono? Because what it said is he reportedly healed an entire ward without ever meeting them. He sat in his office and reviewed their files, practicing the prayer on his own internal responses to their files. So think of all the responses. I'm sorry I keep using the Trump administration. It's just the biggest thing going on right now, at least for some of us. It's the most exaggerated thing going on in the world right now, and it's affecting the whole world. So, but if you think of how many times you reacted, if you did negatively, okay? So really just sitting every time now you see something about it, say the prayer. Just say the prayer. This is incredible. You guys, we could, if the more people did this every day for even that specific administration, it would completely heal. It would completely heal. And healing, maybe they might change their tactics and become like, loving individuals, or they may leave. But we're so focused on, and lower energy knows that. Lower energy wants to keep the energy towards them even when it's negative. Like people in higher energy, like us, we would not want all that lower energy directed at us. But so then it's hard for us to understand why they would keep doing things that send lower energy and hate to them. But they thrive on that. It thrives. The energy keeps moving that way. So, wow. I hope a lot of people listen to this. Okay, so give it a thumbs up, you guys, and leave comments and subscribe to this video, because if you do that, we can really get this moving, okay? And if you get those little hype number, if you have on your phone and you can hype it, that would be great. Okay, was the atmosphere in the high security ward truly dangerous before the prayer began? Yes. Wow, that's incredible. I got to read more about this. Was the closure of the psych ward in 1987 a direct result of the Hooponopono practice? Are you kidding me? Yes. Was the prison healing in Hawaii? Was the prison healing in Hawaii simply a result of better management or administrative changes? No. It's incredible. Should the Ho'oponopono be practiced every single day as a preventative measure? Yes. Okay, well, let me ask then. If we do the Ho'oponopono, pono, I don't need to keep saying it. If we do the prayer like a lot of times a day, will we energetically feel discomfortable? It'll feel uncomfortable? Yes. Okay. So again, just manage that. And the more you do it, like you could probably build up, just like you can build up a vitamin in your body and you wouldn't have negative effects, right? Yes. Okay. Is it better to use the prayer only when a specific difficulty arises? No, no. So you can do it every day, just once a day. Is it possible that the world's problems are too large for a personal prayer to fix? No. I'm sorry, but if he could fix that whole ward, I mean, that's proof too. Wow. Wow. Okay, you guys, we got to get on this. Let's get on this. Is there a single central source that all positive prayers from different cultures connect to? What? Yes. Wow, cool. And here's the thing, you guys, like, especially with the stuff going on in the world, in the United States, we think our actions, like taking action, we have to go to the protests, we have to, which, I still do that. But our prayer, well, let's ask, is saying this prayer more effective in creating change than showing up to a protest? Yes. Yes. Cool. All right. That's all you got to do. All right. The Hare Krishna mantra is a sacred chant, a chant for peace, designed to awaken the soul and connect it to the frequency of supreme consciousness and love. Is the vibration of the Hare Krishna mantra fundamentally compatible with the energy of Hooponopono? Yes. Okay. Very cool. Would exploring the Krishna vibration be beneficial for our community's cultural growth? Yes. Okay, which is kind of cool because I actually have it on my list to do a call out for the Krishna. So I will do that. I will put a call out for questions and we'll do that in the coming weeks. So, all right, you guys, thank you for being here. Again, let's try to not for like my financial gain, but really to help support the world. If you can hype this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, because that does help the algorithm think that you're interested. So, because the more people who kind of watch this little series, and if you haven't watched Witch Wound and Shadow Work videos, I'll pop them right here, right now. So, all right, we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.